The process of creating valid blocks that add transaction data to Bitcoin's public ledger, known as a blockchain, is known as Bitcoin mining. It is a critical component of the Bitcoin network because it solves the so-called double spend problem, which refers to the necessity to reach a consensus on transaction history. Bitcoin ownership can be mathematically confirmed using public key cryptography. Cryptography, on the other hand, cannot guarantee that a coin has not already been given to someone else. To create a common history of transactions, an agreed-upon ordering must be established, which could be based on the time each transaction was created, for example. But any external input can be manipulated by whoever provides it, requiring participants to trust that a third party. Hey guys, it is Clever Money, and on this channel, we love talking about all things money, as well as ways on how you can wisely monetize your time online. In this video, we will talk about what crypto mining is, how it works, how much it costs to mine Bitcoin, and the numerous Bitcoin mining issues that miners encounter. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and make sure to turn on our notifications so you can get notified every time we upload new videos. Without further ado, let us begin. Mining, or blockchain mining in particular, takes advantage of economic incentives to provide a secure and accurate method of data organizing. Third parties who order transactions are decentralized and they are compensated for good behavior. Any wrongdoings, on the other hand, leads to a loss of economic resources, at least as long as the majority of people are honest. This result is obtained in Bitcoin mining by constructing a series of blocks that can be mathematically demonstrated to have been stacked in the correct sequence with a specific amount of resource commitment. The method is based on the mathematical features of a cryptographic hash, which is a standardized method of encoding data. Because hashes are one-way encryption tools, decrypting them to their input data is nearly hard until every possible combination is examined until the result matches the specified hash. Bitcoin miners do something like this. Every second, they cycle through trillions of hashes until they find one that meets a condition called difficulty. Because both the difficulty and the hash are extremely large numbers expressed in bits, the condition simply requires the hash to be less than the difficulty. Every 2016 Bitcoin block, or about 2 weeks, the difficulty is readjusted to keep a consistent block time, which refers to how long it takes to locate each new block when mining. Miners generate a hash that is used as a unique identifier for each block and is made out of data from the block header. The Merkle root, another aggregated hash encapsulating the signatures of all transactions in that block, and the prior's block unique hash are the two most essential components of the hash. This means that even the tiniest change to a block's predicted hash, and that of every subsequent block, will be noticeable. The network would be protected from tampering if nodes immediately rejected this inaccurate version of the blockchain. The approach ensures that Bitcoin miners put in real labor, time, and electricity spent hashing through all of the available combinations by imposing a difficulty requirement. To separate itself from other forms of block creation methods, Bitcoin's consensus system is dubbed proof of work. Malicious entities have no choice but to recreate their complete mining power in order to attack the network. That would cost billions of dollars in Bitcoin. So what is the point of mining Bitcoin? Bitcoin mining is akin to gold mining in many ways. Crypto mining, in the case of Bitcoin, is a computer function that generates a new Bitcoin and keeps track of transactions and ownership. Bitcoin and gold mining both require a lot of energy and can yield a lot of money. As a result, you can mine BTC for profit or prizes. Some Bitcoin miners join forces with other miners to form Bitcoin mining pools. Group of miners who collaborate have a better chance of earning prizes and sharing profits. A mining pool's participants also pay a fee to be part of the pool. If you enjoy playing with computers and learning about new technology, you might want to mine Bitcoin if your focus is not on money. You may learn how your computer and blockchain-based networks function, for example, while configuring Bitcoin mining. Is it worthwhile to mine Bitcoin? To figure out the answer to that question, run a cost-benefit analysis using a web-based calculator to evaluate if Bitcoin mining is worthwhile. A cost-benefit analysis is a systematic process for determining which actions should be taken and which should be avoided by businesses. Before committing your resources, evaluate whether you are willing to invest the required initial money in hardware and determine the future value of Bitcoin and the amount of difficulty. It is also important to check the difficulty level of the cryptocurrency you want to mine to see if the mining operation will be profitable. When both Bitcoin prices and mining difficulty fall, it usually signifies that fewer miners are mining BTC, making it easier to obtain BTC. Nonetheless, As Bitcoin prices and mining difficulty rise, expect more miners to compete for fewer BTC. Bitcoin miners are compensated in a variety of ways. Bitcoin miners are rewarded for their efforts by the network in the form of fresh block generation rewards. New Bitcoin is created with each block, and fees paid by users to transact on the network are the two sorts of incentives. The majority of the miners' revenue comes from the block reward of newly minted Bitcoin, which stands at 6.25 BTC as of May 2020. This amount is set to halve every 4 years so that no more Bitcoin will be mined and only transaction fees will ensure the network security. By 2040, the block reward will have dropped to less than 0.2 BTC, with only 80,000 Bitcoin remaining out of a total of 21 million. Mining will effectively finish only after 2,140 as the final BTC is progressively mined. Even if the block reward lowers each time, improvements in the Bitcoin price have more than compensated for previous halvings. While no guarantee of future success exists, Bitcoin miners can be quite certain about their prospects. The community is overwhelmingly in favor of the present mining structure with no intentions to phase it out like Ethereum, another big mineable coin. Individual Bitcoin miners can be confident that the venture will be profitable if the appropriate circumstances are met. Despite the fact that mining is a competitive industry, getting started is still very simple. In the early days of Bitcoin, enthusiasts could just download some software and get started right away. Those days are gone, but setting up a dedicated Bitcoin miner isn't as difficult as it may appear. If you are interested in learning how to mine Bitcoin, the first thing you should know is that the only way to do so is to get a Bitcoin mining equipment, also known as an ASIC. These machines can only mine Bitcoin, but they do so very efficiently. They are so effective that when they were first introduced in 2013, they rendered all other forms of computational mining devices obsolete almost immediately. You will need to look at other coins if you want to mine with conventional CPUs, GPUs, or more complex FPGAs. Although these gadgets are capable of mining Bitcoin, they do it at such a slow rate that it is a waste of time and electricity. For comparison, the AMD 7970, the best graphics card available before the advent of ASICs, produced 800 million hashes per second. An average ASIC now generates 100 trillion hashes per second, a difference of 125,000-fold. The hash rate is a typical term for the number of hashes produced in a second, and it is a significant performance metric for mining machines. When choosing a Bitcoin mining gear, there are two important considerations to consider. One is the power consumption, which is measured in watts. The device that uses the least amount of electricity will be more profitable between two devices that create the same number of hashes. The third metric is the cost per unit of each gadget. It is worth less to have the world's most energy-efficient ASIC if it takes 10 years to pay for itself in mining. ASIC producers in the Bitcoin ecosystem are fairly active, and they frequently differ on these three factors. Some may produce more efficient but more expensive ASICs, while others may produce lower performing but less expensive hardware. Before determining which equipment is appropriate for your needs, it is critical to comprehend the other aspects that influence Bitcoin mining income. There are technical hazards involved with maintaining high-power devices such as ASICs, in addition to the financial risk of not making a profit. To avoid the mining equipment's components being burned out owing to overheating, proper ventilation is essential. The miner's full electricity usage is dissipated as heat into its surroundings, and one ASIC is likely to be the most powerful device in your home or business. That means when Bitcoin mining, you must carefully evaluate the limitations of your electrical grid. The energy network in your home is rated up to a certain amount of power, and each plug has its own rating. Excessive use of those limits could lead to frequent outages or electrical fires. Consult a professional to see if your electrical setup is suitable for mining. To keep the mining devices healthy, they must be maintained against dust and other external conditions on a regular basis. While failures are uncommon, ASICs might fail sooner than predicted if they are not properly maintained. While individual ASICs may fail, the most serious threat to their profitability is the possibility of them becoming obsolete. Older devices will gradually be displaced by more efficient miners. Miners from previous generations, such as the Bitmain S9, introduced in 2016, lasted about 4 years before becoming unprofitable in any electricity price scenario except zero. However, the rate at which computing technology evolves is highly unpredictable. Bitcoin mining is no different than any other business. There are opportunities for both rewards and risks, so hopefully this tutorial served as a good beginning point for a more thorough examination of both. So that is it for today, everyone. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a like and let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.